very interesting.
All right, here we are. This is the first. It's a big one. Everybody welcome to Three Person Circle, where we take three people and we sit them in a circle. This is brought to you by the Rain City Variety Podcast. Everyone welcome. Thank you to all our listeners for tuning in. I'm Derek, your host, and this is my co-host Dax.
Hey, good to be back. I think this is our first real one, I guess, right?
True pod, yeah. And we're excited to be here. Our first guest is Luke Williams. Luke, welcome to the pod.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm a bit tired off of a 13-hour workday, but you know.
Lovely.
What were you doing before you got here? Like, what was 13 hours of your day?
Putting out fires. Putting out fires.
Oh, you're a firefighter.
But not really. Yeah, no, just on set. There's a car lit on fire, actually. Ironically, the show's about a guy that goes around setting fires. So yeah, that was pretty.
Was it an on-set fire?
It wasn't in the building. The guy's legit car caught on fire.
So, like, for background, Luke, for as long as I've known him, basically for 13, 12 years now, he's dabbled in the movie industry. Like, I don't know, maybe talk about like what you've done in the industry before.
Okay. I think it was when I was 16, I met my first agent.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Damn.
She came through the drive-thru and offered. I was working at McDonald's at the time. That was the first job. She came through the drive-thru and said, "Have you ever thought of doing any extra work?" And at the time, I thought I was like this rich white lady driving through McDonald's drive-thru that's like asking me to come and like do extra work at her like McMansion in West. Because I was working at the one at Park Royal. And I was just like, no, I'm fine. I have a job. And like basically told her to, clearly I'm working. Like I don't need extra work right now. I'm fucking 16. And so like then I guess she went to the next window. My sister's working there, and she's like, "I'm sorry. Like I didn't mean to. Like, was that your brother back there? Because like I think I might have offended him." Ended up giving my sister her like agency card because she was like, "I'm a talent scout." But yada yada yada. So then I got into like BG work, like doing background and stuff, like in the movie sets. My mom would like allow me to like leave school like once every like 2 weeks to go.
Was it weird or like what was it like? It must have been crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Yeah. It's like you're like you feel like you're kind of like what's the word for it? I guess like you're kind of like a slab of meat that they're like, "Oh, we like you," like kind of like kind of like a molding, kind of like not child molestation.
Yeah,
kind of molding,
no,
but like you're kind of like, "Oh, okay, this is kind of weird." Like I'm 16, they're like, "Yeah, if you want to come to set today," and like
because like I just picture like knowing the way I know the film industry. Like I have friends, like obviously you and other people that are in it, and then like clients of mine work within all the parts of it, and I just picture a 16-year-old on a film set, and it's like such a crazy thing to be a part of at 16.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes like now that I do like the crew side of things, they'll have like you'll get like a full football team in there sometimes, like from like a high school or something like that. Because they're like, we need to do a football scene, and like, but it's wild sometimes.
You know what's crazy? Before he got into the crew stuff he's doing now, when we lived together for the second time in like 2018, you were really doing like a lot of background focus and some acting roles because you were gone all the time.
Yeah, I was doing. What was that show that I was working on? I think it was the 100. I did a lot of work on the 100.
No way, that's a sweet show.
And the Jason Momoa one too.
Oh,
yeah, that one you filmed.
C.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't get over the concept of no one could see. Is that what it's about, right?
Oh, dude, some of the days on that, like, I think I'm allowed to talk about it. I'm pretty sure I signed an NDA, but it's come out now, so we should be good. But yeah, some of the days I remember we're in like we're on the island at Mira Falls, and like they had these like crazy little like face things for our tribe. Like you couldn't see, like legit, like you legit could not see, and they're like, "Oh yeah, just like." You're gonna walk forward like 10 feet and you're like on these slippery rocks, and they're like, yeah, like the stunt performers are gonna be standing right at the cliffside, but they like could see it, like theirs had like eye holes.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, just walk forward and like we're gonna do this crazy drone shot. And you're there for an entire day just doing like this walk in the water on these slippery rocks, and I was like, I don't think this is safe, but like you guys are paying me well. So,
Yeah.
and you're feeding me, so I guess I'll do it. But actually, the cool thing for that C one is I had to go to 3 days of like blind training.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that's a thing.
Yeah, so that's a thing. So it was like, it was 3 days working with this coordinator, being like, I guess teaching you to like look with your ears, because like pretending you're blind and you can't see things. Like
Okay,
if like
yeah,
someone's
yeah.
like snapping over here, you'd kind of like turn your head or your ear towards like where the snap's actually happening.
Cool.
So there was like 100 of us in this giant gymnasium just running around like doing weird stuff where you're just like either blindfolded, like in a group. They're like, yeah, touch your partner like with your arms at your side or something, and like pretending like walking and marching, and it was actually
That's
wild.
what I always think so funny about the film industry is like you get to do like in theory it's really cool. You get to like learn to hear instead and use that. That's really cool. But it's also so weird.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, all right, all these people in a gym need to like move
Yeah,
around.
the
and
like
shit.
coordinator's like snapping over here. He's like, "Come to my voice," and you're like walking, kind of like, "All right, I'm just gonna walk and then see if I hit someone." And I'm like, "Is this the guy? I don't know."
Why did you stop that anyway? Because I remember again, for as long as I known you, we were doing so many background stuff. You're starting to do
Yeah,
like
I was
some
doing
speaking roles,
stand-in
right?
work, and then I
Yeah.
got that gig for what was it?
It was in Whistler, remember?
They were gonna bring back the Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I got a scene as like a vampire, like one of the like the gang in the vampire gang. That's how I got my first credit, and then I was like, I told my agent, I was like, union stuff only from now on,
Yeah,
because like you could go to like these cattle calls of like 100 people, but then once you're in the union, you like make a little bit more. Like, I think your day rate's like $350 if you're a union member, and you're only on an 8-hour minimum.
Dude, my life growing up, my dad always told me, be your own business. He's like, it's the way to be. And now I just wish if I could go back and redo every like life, like obviously not on a grand scale, but I'd be like, one thing I would do is set my goal to be in a union, because unions just it's so useful.
It's the way to go.
Why did you leave that though? Because I know obviously you're doing way more crew work now, right?
Well, it's like I wasn't fully like going to a bunch of like auditions and whatever, because I've never like wanted to be like an actor. Like, I'm not like shitting on actors, but I always found them like pretty, like, I don't know, in Vancouver I feel some of them are pretty pretentious, like, the ones that are like trying out for it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they're like, I'm gonna become an actor, and I'm like, are you really? Because like I don't even really believe you. So. Why did I think it was like I moved away to Australia.
Right.
I moved away to Australia. Yeah. Like I basically was kind of doing it on the side while I was doing like the personal training stuff at the gym, just to like pay off my student loans. And then when I moved to Australia, I kind of was like done with it. Mm-hmm. And then coming back when the pandemic started, like my buddy just called me out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, are you working right now? Like we need some extra bodies to do like crew work." And I was like, oh, I've never done crew work. So then that's how I kind of jumped into that thing. But I will say, back to the C thing.
Yeah.
I got to do 4 days of like not stand-in. I was doubling for like Jason Momoa's right-hand guy on C.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like every morning for 4 days, I'd like walk in the trailer, and it's just me and Jason, like beside Jason Momoa, getting like makeup done.
What?
And he's actually like pretty like.
I
Did he
heard
talk,
he's-
or was he just quiet?
No, he talked.
Okay.
I heard he's the nicest guy.
Yeah, he's actually
way,
like super nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
There was like, I would say at like certain points during the filming of C, like the crew and like BG were definitely like not like getting abused, but like the director would like want to keep on going, and you're like, dude, we've been out here for like an hour and a half, like no break, like we're all like freezing cold, wet, and pretending to be blind, like we can't even see like out of these masks, right? And he's just like, no, like Crafty is too far for you guys to go and get a snack and like to warm up a bit, and you're like, and then there was like certain days where Jason Momoa would be like, we're not working anymore, like we need a break, and I was like, I like this guy.
Yeah, this guy's
like
legit.
This guy understands. Like,
And he was like flexing his like celebrity muscle, but not in a like I'm a celebrity. He's like, no, we're not.
yeah, like
That's cool.
everyone's not doing this. Like we all need a break right
Yeah.
now. Like,
Who's
like,
the
like screw you, Apple.
Yeah. Giant corporation.
You make enough money.
Who's the coolest celebrity you've like been able to work with?
Like, what do you mean by like coolest? Like high, like that,
Yeah, I don't know, like
themselves?
the one that stands out that you're like, I can't believe I worked with him. He was really fun.
It was probably the Jason Momoa. Like I've met a lot of people. Like I met The Rock.
Was he nice?
The time that I got to be with him, it was a night shoot on a Friday, and I know they had like a long week of filming. I think what was the name of the movie?
Was it Skyscraper?
Yeah, I think it was Skyscraper.
It was so ridiculous.
And it was the scene where he's like he was on like a gurney, like coming into like the hospital or something.
That's the most ridiculous scene too.
And I just remember I was like, I don't know if I like this guy, but apparently he's a big deal. And then
Apparently he's a huge dick.
Yeah.
Like
I can see The Rock maybe not being a dick to you, but he the whole time is doing this. He's like, hey, how's it? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like you can just so tell you're like, yeah, he's just fake. Like this isn't real at all. Yeah.
The other cool guy that I liked meeting was actually like 2 years ago. I can't remember his name, but he's the guy he plays in Mr. Robot. He plays like the dad, I guess.
Oh, I haven't seen Mr. Robot.
You've seen Mr. Robot,
Yeah.
right, Dex? Yeah. Do you know that actor's name? The guy that plays like his like dad, like
Yo,
dad,
we should
like
get a
older guy
computer or
that like he
use your phone
sees
to
in
check
like
that
his head. Whoever that guy is.
oh,
that
Christian
worked-
Slater.
Yeah.
The one that he's in his head. Christian Slater.
He was on Spiderwick. He's like the main guy in Spiderwick. I don't know if they're releasing it or not, but because I don't know if it actually got picked up. But
Yeah.
yeah, he was super chill. Like
It's-
very much. He was like very much
Just like-
exactly like the character in Mr. Robot, but like you can tell he's just being himself
Yeah.
as like an actor, and that's kind of like it's refreshing because you know they're not like putting on a facade.
Did you
or,
finish
like,
that show?
Mr. Robot?
Mr. Robot?
Oh, I loved it.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's actually a
I started watching that this year.
great twist everywhere. You're kind of like, I don't know where it's going.
These wings are really good.
Yeah, what's number 3?
Dawson's Creek, right?
No,
Has
that's
anyone
a
been to-
TV show. I was like, that was a long-running TV show. Dawson's Creek. I'm pretty sure my sister watched that.
I
Yeah.
remember watching that show, and I was a kid, and I couldn't watch it because I was like, it's just such trash. And then as an adult, I went back to see what it was actually about, and I was like, no, it was trash.
That's where Tom Cruise's ex-wife was from, right? Like what was her name? She was in the first Batman movie.
Dude,
Katie Holmes.
Dawson's Creek is literally the top right corner of BC, is it not?
I think so.
It's like
pretty
up,
sure.
it's up north. Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine what a dump of a town Dawson's Creek. Dawson's Creek. Sorry.
I think the longest-running TV show we had here was Supernatural.
Yeah. They
And,
filmed
it
that here
has
for a
some like
long time.
crazy fans. Too.
That in Smallville. Smallville ran like, I think for 12 seasons, and Supernatural was like 18 or 19.
Yeah.
I was in Lynn Valley one night by the old library, not the new one, but the old one that was by the Chevron and everything there.
Yeah.
I was a few blocks off of that with some buddies, and we were all just like, you know what you do when you're growing up, and like you're young, you're wandering around in the dark and shit. And they had a UFO. All it was lights that looked like UFO,
Yeah.
but hanging on a huge gurney so up high. And we were wandering around, and all of a sudden I was like, oh shit, it's a UFO. And I was so stoked. And like, 'cause, you know, I love UFOs, so I'm like, oh my god. And we were like legitimately though, because it was so crazy, you could see all the lights, and then we got close, we're like, oh,
That's a TV show.
it's just goddamn, what's it called?
Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Well, speaking of North Van, like obviously all three of us know each other,
Yeah.
but we all grew up in North Van. You guys knew each other before, like I introduced you, right?
Yeah.
How did you two know each other?
Basketball, yeah.
What?
His,
His
No way.
His dad coached.
Yeah.
We played on the was it YMCA or was it the
It was
Grizzlies?
the Grizzlies
Like,
and then
junior
Steve
Grizzlies.
Nash. Junior Grizzlies turned in, and then so Junior Grizzlies was the team.
Okay.
That's where we met and we played. Yeah,
Yeah.
We were a good team. I can't
Yeah, we
remember.
were.
It was
We had what was his name? Andrew.
Yes,
Yeah,
Andrew
yeah.
from Hand.
Yeah.
Because my dad was really good friends with Andrew's dad.
Okay.
So he like coached all of us. Yeah, it was sweet. Like we were good, but Andrew was like a prodigy.
How did you? So how old were you two when you met?
Like 8,
So
maybe.
yeah.
No
Yeah,
way.
like 8
Yeah.
to 12.
And did you guys hang out like through high school at all, or just know
No,
each other?
we've just always known. I've always
we've-
thought of you as a friend, but I just like I didn't like always hang out with him. But whenever you see each other, it's like, yo, so
Yeah, I'd be like, I know this guy, and then
Yeah.
like I was like, oh, he plays soccer. Like we
Yeah.
always saw each other playing soccer.
That's
just,
where
like,
I think
at-
I saw you the most. Like I knew him from basketball through those years, but
Yeah.
then I guess like you said, we were 12.
Yeah.
So it was like when you're like 15, 16, you actually like are.
That's when you
aware.
start like you start like trying out for like soccer teams, and then I think we'd like always see each other for like
Yeah.
because I was playing like gold for Lynn Valley, and I think you
That was
were
Lionsgate.
Yeah, you were Lionsgate.
Yeah, we
so we'd
always
always
just-
see each other like at soccer, being like, "Fuck this guy! I know him from basketball. But, like, he's that good midfielder that we gotta like." I was like, I'd always tell him to like, watch out for that midfielder Derek guy.
And I'd be like this on the other side. I was like, what?
I met him through Nick, like second year university. My second year university.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
So-
he's
so-
known Nick forever.
So I'm guessing you knew Nick through soccer then, or how'd you
No,
know
I
Nick?
knew Nick from because I used to go to Ridgeway.
Oh,
My first school was
okay,
Ridgeway,
okay.
so I went to school with Nick, and like me and him were like I've known him since I was like 5. 'Cause
Dude,
I,
it's
I lived
crazy.
I lived like I want to say it's like 3 blocks from him because I lived
Yeah.
on 10th Street
Yeah.
and like just above the school.
I know where
kind of.
Nick lives in the same house as
Yeah,
you,
but
so
Nick has a little
it's-
photo at his place right now where it's like on their graduation day or something, right? It's like him, Nick.
And then Chris Rankin. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, just all of them is like little
Chris
babies.
Rankin?
Yeah.
Dude, I know Chris Rankin through. Wow, that's so crazy. Like I knew Chris Rankin through. It's such a convoluted story. I'm not going to talk about it on
Yeah,
the podcast.
yeah.
But wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. And I think we were sitting on that rock, right?
Yeah, sitting on the
yeah.
rock. He looks like a tiny, like a little
Dude,
kid.
Nick. Whenever I think of Nick, first thing I think of is his hamstrings are like. He has like the perfect hamstrings. Yeah. So I don't know. Soccer. I feel like soccer's such a crazy community that we're a part of. Hey, like you. I don't know. You and I are both in the same. Where
I feel like we've been like the OG, like always like the OGs into soccer, whereas like a lot
Absolutely.
of people have like started getting into soccer because of like them bringing like Beckham and Messi over to like the MLS, and
Yeah,
people are like,
dude.
oh, soccer, like
it's so weird. Honestly, that's one of the weirdest things. Like playing soccer, and then you start talking to people, and I always just assumed everyone played soccer, but that's kind of like the Lower Mainland, or I guess not the Lower Mainland. I'm out to like Coquitlam. Surrey's pretty good too. Surrey, like out that way, all of that it's such a hotbed for soccer.
Yeah.
The rest of the country is all hockey. But if you're in the lower, like that area here, North Van, Squamish, out to Surrey, it's crazy.
yeah, I
the
remember
soccer.
Surrey, like the Surrey when we were playing like Metro or whatever that league was. Like I remember the Surrey team was always like one of our biggest. It wasn't even like the North Van teams. It was like
Fucking
screw
Surrey,
this
man.
Surrey team. Yeah.
Guilford, I'd literally
Yeah,
have
it
to
was
get
Guilford.
him.
It was
Every time
Guilford,
we go
yeah.
to Guilford, I'd be like, it's time to fight.
Oh, dude. So speaking of Guilford, I think it was like the semi-finals for the Metro League when they like first brought it here, and we were like the North Fan something, but the reffing was like crap. I remember, but the parents got in a brawl.
I believe that.
On the
I
sideline.
fully believe that.
Like,
that
the
sounds like a Guilford match.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually sadly
like
what it is.
the parents actually got in a brawl. I was like laughing because like parents are getting kicked out of the game, and you're kind of like, all right,
Alright,
like
cool.
let's go.
All of a
Like,
sudden, yeah, all of a sudden, I can't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, this is one thing I always think is so crazy. I played a lot of sports at high levels, just not like the highest level, but like I played at levels where it was like super competitive. And when I was a kid, I got yelled at so harshly by coaches of teams, like so harshly, like, "How are you gonna make it if you can't make that pass?" Like shit like that, right?
yeah.
And I was like, it didn't affect me in a way where I was like, I'm insignificant, but like. It's really fucking weird that like coaches would say that shit to you.
But it's probably because they think you have like talent and can go somewhere, so like we're gonna push them.
We'll push them or something, but all
Because like
like
looking back, you're like, oh, like if I was a soccer player, like even like just on the bench or like you're red shirting for like
Well, you could have got, dude. When I was at Cap, you could have been there for sure. Darren Rath would have 100% put you.
Oh,
on
I
the
know,
team.
yeah.
Do you know what's crazy?
He's
This kid is
hyper-athletic.
literally one of the most hyper athletic kids I've ever met.
I agree.
Like he is
What up?
amazing at soccer. Anytime we play basketball, it's just literally anything he picks up, he's automatically like competent at.
I will say my worst sport though, as a black man, is basketball.
For those that don't know, because the African American.
Like just as
flavor.
like playing defense, I'm good at, but yeah, like shooting stuff. Like sometimes like you're just too fast going in for the layup, and then like the ball's just going off. And
Okay, I 100%. That's what always I hated about basketball. A breakaway layup is supposed to be easy, and that was like the most stressful thing.
I would always be like, oh god, I'm on a breakaway, and then I'm like, oh come on, just tap it in.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you fire it off, and then other
Yeah.
times it's too light and like hits the rim, and you're like, oof, that was a.
Have you ever seen him throw a ball?
No, I've heard your football throwing is insane.
Oh yeah, but I played football for 4 years basically.
Oh.
And
Okay.
baseball too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I swear to God, man, we should have just like, you should have picked the sport and let us ride your coattails. Like I'm a
No, but-
really good
Yeah,
driver.
baseball. I used to be a pitcher.
Do you know? But this is actually a thing I think about. So, Devin Ganinch, extremely good soccer player, captain UBC, won national championships with him. Derek Lee, just two guys that are like in my like growing up guys that were really good. Derek Lee he played pro hockey in Europe. He was like potential NHL guy. My mom told me this, and it was when we were younger. It was like we were like 12 or 13. When I was really like, I was like, I want to be a pro athlete. My mom told me that Derek Lee, when we were like 6-year-old kids and we would all be playing junior Grizzlies or whatever, but we'd just be like, yeah, and we were like, yo, Luke, let's go party and eat chips after. He would go home and obsess about not scoring enough points, but it was all hockey. So he'd be like, I only got 3 goals, but I missed 2, and would just sit there and shoot.
Yeah.
So I think it is possible, not very easily, but like if you're dedicated to, but try and get a 6-year-old kid to obsess about something like that.
Yeah, just
is
and like
impossible.
just one thing. Too,
Yeah.
like, to be like, yeah, this is all you want to obsess over. Like,
Yeah, because like now I could do that stuff, but I'm like an adult and it's easier. But when you're a
Yeah.
kid, you're like, yo.
Liverpool's not going after a 33. They're not like, oh yeah, let's scout that guy.
Hey,
Unless your name's
Trade.
like Tiago or something.
Diamond Dallas Page joined the WWE at 33.
Yeah, the only sport
true.
I think you'd like get into like super old is like UFC or baseball.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But even then,
That was your
hitting a fastball is probably like one of the hardest things in the world. Like at that level,
Yeah, that's true.
like 100 miles an hour,
Yeah.
right? Like that's just
It's not
yeah.
gonna, unless you're. Well, I don't know. It depends on how coordinated you are, because it's just about somewhat timing.
yeah. Well,
I was-
timing and getting into it.
I was
right?
recently watching a video of what's the pitcher's team that he's on, but they're like, yeah, he's only throwing like a 56 mile per hour fastball, but guys can't hit it because it's so slow that
Yeah.
like they don't know how to judge it. Like they're like, oh, is it a changeup? But then it's like,
Yeah. It's crazy because you have such a short window to react to what type of ball is coming to you. Like, have you ever gone to a batting cage and like tried
Yeah.
out like any
put it to like
levels?
the 80 miles per hour.
Dude,
or whatever.
it just zips by you, and that's just like a fastball.
Yeah. And that's like a I'd say like almost like not even college level, like before college level if you're throwing 80 miles per hour, because like once you hit college, I think that's when they're like, all right, you can get up to 90 probably if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
How long did you play baseball till?
That's awesome.
So I remember we used to talk about all this.
I played baseball from I want to say I was probably it was like usually spring times. Like basketball would be in the fall, and then like springtime I would play baseball, and I probably played till I was about 13. I want to say, no, yeah, probably 13, and then because my mom never let me play hockey growing up.
Oh really? Why? Too violent?
Not too violent, because I had 2 sisters and they wanted to play every sport I did. So playing hockey, like, she was just like, I'm a single mom. This is like, you're gonna grow out of your gear every year. I'm not like waking up early to go to these practices and all
Oh,
this
fair,
stuff.
fair.
That's
And like, you can grow out of your equipment like the same year, and you're like buying new stuff. It's like I say it's a rich white man sport.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
Like,
absolutely. Even
there's no-
even within the rich white man community, my dad was like, it's super expensive. Like,
yeah, like you're
like,
not.
Like, hey, for example, so like Luke said, just to play the sport, it's extremely expensive.
Yeah, like just getting the gear. It's
Just the
like
gear.
you're throwing down at least like kids gear probably like 400 on like skate shin pads, the like girdle,
When
shoulder pads, elbow pads, a helmet, and then
When
your
I played in
stick.
Kitimat, it was $1,400 minus stick because my stick was $300. But I wanted to buy a really nice stick, so
Yeah.
you didn't have to do that. But I spent $200 on a helmet and $200 on skates because that's like I'm like that's worth having good. And then the rest was the cheapest and it was like $1,400.
Yeah, or like
Crazy.
secondhand, like the
Yeah.
secondhand sports store or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
And-
So yeah, my mom said I couldn't play hockey. So then I was like, okay, well, I want to play a sport in the springtime. So then I chose baseball as my sport, and like, I don't even think I never.
Did you hate it though? Like,
No, I was like every single team I played for, they're like, yeah, you're starting. Like you always make hits. Like
Yeah.
you can pitch for us. And then I remember facing like they're like, oh yeah, this is the best pitcher in the league. Like he's never hit anyone. He always throws strikeouts. And then we're in like a training thing, and this guy fucking domes me in the head with a ball. Like I was up to bat, yeah, like first pitch too. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? I thought you said this guy was the best guy. And but like he must have done it on purpose. It's like-
100%. There's no way the coach goes, he never misses, and then he misses to your head.
why did you stop?
Baseball because I think I hit it was 13 or 14, and I yeah, give me a dab of that, yeah, too. Sorry about that.
I'll do it too. Shit.
When I hit 13 or 14, I think my mom found like inline hockey on like the North Van Rec or whatever, and I was like, she's like, it's only like $200-$300 for the season, like the gear's a little cheaper, and it was non-contact, and she's like, she was like, I think your sisters are old enough that they won't want to play. I think only my older sister played, because I would always play hockey in like the alleyways, which you never see kids doing anymore. Like,
That's so. Yeah,
like,
I actually.
like around North Van, you don't see kids doing it anymore.
One thing that used to be so crazy was going to what's the open size court in Lynn Valley there, the big one.
Oh, Kirkstone?
That was so fun showing up there with your crew, and it's like you all show up in your mainly it was the street hockey goalie gear. It's like
Yeah.
shitty goalie stuff, and you like show up all raggedy, and some other dude's like, "Oh, you guys playing too?"
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, street like ball hockey. Yeah, like me in my alleyway, there was me. My sisters would play, and then I had a next door neighbor that was super into hockey that would always be like out in the alleyway shooting, and I'd like just go out there and he was like 3 years older, so I'd always go out there and just be like shooting with him. But then like I think that like made me better, because you're always like going against this guy that's like bigger and better than you.
Absolutely.
And then we convinced like some kid like down the middle alley that we had that like would always see us, like he'd be riding his bike, and then he came with like a stick, and we're like, come back tomorrow, we're gonna play again. Like,
Dude,
teams.
it's so sad because I 100% had the exact same experience. Like, you had your squad, this like Chris Cairns or the Cairns, like Katie Cairns and all them. They were on my same street, but
Oh crap.
they're like higher up the cul-de-sac. Like, there's the T of it, and they're at like the start, and then I'm like down at the end, right? So we would always play like my crew of my brother and my friends, but then Chris and his crew would be there, and it's not like there wasn't like beef, but we'd be like, yo, let's play, and sometimes you play, sometimes you won, but it was like that. And now that's just gone.
Yeah,
It's
like
just
kids
fully
don't really
gone.
do that.
The Karens. I know one of them, right? From
Yeah, you know Sarah
From-
UBCO.
UBCO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was the one that I was like, I'm trying to find my friend Sarah, and then I was
Yes,
like messaging her, and then she's
yes.
like on the picnic table.
Yeah.
I was like,
Dude, so I met this guy second year university, Nick. So I lived with Nick my first year, and we didn't know anybody in Kelowna, Nick and I. So essentially for the very first year, Nick and I were kind of just us, and we became good friends. And that's when we met John. We had like a handful of friends up there, but it wasn't until second year when Nick's like, yo, my really good friend Luke is is gonna come move up to Kelowna. Like, you gotta meet him. And I'm like, okay. And I think the very first night we meet him, it was just us three when we went out, right?
Yeah, we went out.
Yeah.
Nick got a little salty though because me and Dax like clicked
Had a good
straight
time.
away, and we were like kind of making fun of him half the night, like just making little jokes. But it was good fun.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then and then Nick graduated, and then we lived together second year. And that's when we did like a lot of like him and I really got into like meeting everybody. Kelowna.
I don't think there was like a single person in our class that like didn't know me or Dax.
Yeah.
You know, one of the saddest things, I could have so easily gone to UBCO, but I was just stupid, so I didn't really like perceive what that meant. I was like, man, if you're not going to UBC, like, it's just the B rate one, but I was just a dumb kid. Like, I actually had no clue. And now looking back, I so regret not going and having because my university experience was CAP, which isn't really a university experience.
Yeah.
How was it? How was it at Kelowna? Like,
Oh, it was awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was
Man.
awesome. Like Nick basically convinced me to go, but I in the back of my head I was like, yeah, I didn't want to go. Like, graduating from CAP, I was like, I don't want to go to UBC like here. I was like, I want to get out of the city because I've always been like a travel person. So I'm like, yeah, let's go to Kelowna. And like, I've always gone up to, like, when I was younger for soccer, my team every summer would go up to Penticton for a soccer tournament. And I was like, I love the Okanagan, so I was like, yeah, let's go to fucking Kelowna and like
so sweet.
see what it's about.
So get this.
That's so sweet.
2 years in a row I meet him. The first year I meet him, I think that was the year that Pat Hart totaled your mom's car.
Yeah.
A couple days before he moves up.
No, literally the day.
Oh, the day.
The day.
And then the second year we lived together, he gets into a rear ender. Like, back-to-back years, man. You can't make this up.
So what did Pat Hart do to your mom's car?
Okay, so it was my last night in Vancouver before I was going to leave to Kelowna for, like, school. Because I think I was getting there, like, a week early or something like that just to, like... Because my mom had a place up there at the time, and I was going to rent it from her.
Okay.
So then I was like, hey, like, Mom, can I use the car for my last night? I'm going to sleep over at my buddy Keenan's house. Whatever. Because we're going to go out and, like, partying, like, down at Seymour Creek. Like, or is it Seymour Creek?
No,
Seymour Pub.
Seymour Pub.
It was Mosquito.
Okay.
Yeah. But, down at Seymour Pub, and then, like, Keenan was like, oh yeah, I'll have like a bunch of people over afterwards for like an after party. So we leave the Seymour at like 1, like get back to his house. And I pass out on the couch, and I guess Pat needed some smokes or something. And so my keys were there. And he took the car up to 7-Eleven. And then he crashed into a parked car. And like I was like, because in the morning, like, I have all these missed calls, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And it's my mom calling me, and she's like, why the hell am I getting calls from the cops saying the car is totaled? Look, what the hell did you do last night? And I'm like, Mom, like, the car's like, I remember like kind of like coming through, and I'm like, Mom, like, the car's out front of Keenan's house, like, it stayed here last night. We went out drinking. Like, I didn't drive it. Like, I'm just waking up, and I stand up in Keenan's thing, and I like go to the window, and I like look out, and I'm like, oh fuck, it's not there. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you like go into like, what the fuck is going on? Like, where's the car? And I remember busting in Keenan's room. He's like with his girlfriend on the bed. I'm like, yo, where the fuck is my car? And he's like, I don't know, man. Like, I think Pat took it last night. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean?
Are you friends with Pat still?
Yeah.
No, that's why I asked. I just think of it like...
I think my mom hates him still, like, to this day. Like, if he showed up at my house, my mom would be like, fucking Pat.
Pat, how's my car?
It's crazy because he's so responsible.
Yeah, like, but I think that made him more responsible now.
He's such a... It's such a 180 turn in character.
But I think the funniest thing was when... Because, the next day I was supposed to go to Kelowna. Like, drive up to Kelowna with my mom. Was going to drive me up, like, drop me off at school. Don't have a car anymore. So, like, the next day is us going to, like, the impound to, like, go clean out the car of all her shit. And I just remember, like, going through it. Like, I'm looking at the car and I'm like, holy fuck, you fucked off.
Okay, so
Like the engine's off the block. So then this is when I like found out. Yeah, this is when I found out that he went to like grab prime times because like. My mom's going through the front. My mom's going through the front seat of the car, and she pulls out like, I want to say like 3 or 4 great prime times. She's just like, "Are these your prime times?" And I was like, "No, I don't smoke." Like, I think I had like smoked, but I didn't. Like,
Yeah,
I was like, I
literally
didn't.
weren't yours.
I didn't get prime times, and I just remember chucking them over her head and going fucking Pat Hart.
okay, so this is the best part. So
Goddamn Pat Hart.
he started the year with that, right? So he comes, we meet, we have such a fun year. Like
Yeah.
we basically, Nick and I lived in this like janky little like basement suite. The guy upstairs had just gotten a divorce, so like he was like
He was
doing his own
down
thing.
to party.
so
Like,
he was-
there's a few days he was like, "I'll throw a barbecue. We'll have some drinks on the
So
back."
like, we
cool.
basically hosted every
Unfortunate
weekend.
for him, but sweet for
Um,
you.
And you guys live closer
We
to
live,
downtown.
yeah, we lived
than-
right downtown, so everyone would always pre-drink at ours.
Where exactly downtown?
Like right on 97th, a block up from Harvey on the west side. So you basically would walk across the street, across Harvey, and we would go to downtown Kelowna. And back then, before they kind of gentrified everything, there were like 3 or 4 clubs in the downtown region, which are all pretty much closed now. But anyway, we got really tight that year because we basically spent like, if we didn't have class together, we would spend like every other day or like all weekends together. We would just hang out with this guy.
Sweet.
He'd always come down to our place, but before he left, do you remember this? He saw like something happen on the wall of his apartment, of his mom's apartment, and he's about to go home for the summer.
Oh, dude.
And he goes, "Oh, there's a paint bucket here, like that matches the paint of the walls. Like, let me go like clean this blemish up." And he's like walking over with an open can of paint, trips over a soccer ball, and like gets paint all over the wall, like all and the
So you were like in a
so
spot.
fun.
Like, so my mom was like very like not particular about the apartment, but I was like, oh, like clean up, and like, you know, there was like, I think there was some mark on the wall, but it has this stupid, you remember the apartment, it had that stupid lantern thing, like where like a dining room table should be,
yeah.
but it was
We
like,
ended up putting a table there.
it was like in the middle of like just like the straight shot.
Oh, yeah,
from,
it's, like,
the,
super dumb.
from like the door to the it would be like if there was a thing like
Right,
dangling
we,
right
do
here.
you remember we
yeah.
put a table there when we moved in
Yeah,
together?
just so you
Yeah.
would like go around
Yeah.
it. Anyways, it hangs super low. So I remember I was like, I was definitely really high. This is when we were smoking weed. I'm pretty sure. And I was just like,
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, I was just like, I need to like clean this. And I was like, oh yeah, there's paint in that cupboard. So the paint wasn't even actually open. That was the crazy thing. But I remember I went to the cupboard, grabbed the paint, and I'm like walking over. And then like at last, like, you know when you're looking down and then you're like, oh crap, there's like a thing. So I went to move, and then I had a basketball on the floor. I tripped, like stepped on the basketball and tripped. I just remember like tossing the paint, and like in my head I was like, oh, it's closed, it'll be fine. And it just like hits the floor and just explodes open.
I can picture the way the paint moves.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
would
and
just be like
it went everywhere. It was on like the side of the couch. It was like on the wall everywhere, and then it like seeped into the floor. And then there's just like, because the carpet wasn't like exactly the same color as it, so it, like you could just see this like and like I was like, what do you know when you're like sitting there and you're kind of just like, what do I do? Like, how do I? So like I closed the paint. Anyways, I just remember like having to call my mom, and I was like, so I was trying to like, you know, be like good. like I was actually
Open and wide.
like, you know, I was trying to like actually fix the place for you. But a basketball, and I tripped, and there's paint on the floor. She's like, "What do you mean there's paint on the floor?" And I was like, "Well, it's like a big little spot."
how do I explain
But
this
like
to you, Mom?
it's not that noticeable. And then she was like, show me a picture. And I sent her a picture. She's like, what the fuck? Like, I remember being pretty pissed, but I'm like, I've done everything I can to get all the paint out. Like,
Dude, that is one of the most, disappointing things is when you stain something that, like, my parents have all carpeting in their house minus a small little tile portion, and they have white carpet,
Yeah, and you're like,
oh man, I've spilled genuinely to like what you're talking about, where there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
I've spilt a full bottle of wine, and by the time I was able to recover, it was already going like so much wine that it's basically you're like this. You're just like. There's no point.
I'm getting yelled at. I'm getting yelled at for this, no matter what I do.
And then I use like the carpet cleaner, and it's like, it's impossible to not get a stain out with this. And I'm like 4 hours later, I'm like, there's still a goddamn stain.
The bottle lied.
So that was his first year up in club.
It started crap, ended with me spilling paint everywhere, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah, but that basically led into like. Now we're still best friends. Like,
well, that's how you and I like. We've always known each other through soccer and sports, but we actually started hanging out because me and Dax started hanging out, and then we all started hanging out.
Yeah.
And now we golf. Well, we poorly golf. I don't want to say we golf. We poorly golf. I would never say. I think the number one secret to golf is if you say you're good at golf, you're a liar. Unless you're getting paid a ton of money to do it, you're a liar.
Yeah. Until you like only hit like I don't know. 16 or 8 over on like a full course, then you can be like, I'm pretty good at golf. But you're like, okay, yeah, you actually made almost par on everything.
Do you know what though? There's some people you talk to and they say they're not good at golf, and then you ask them what their scores are, and you're like, oh yeah, you're good at golf.
No, but that's the secret, is they don't think they're good at golf. Because the second they did, I guarantee you their score would drop.
Yeah, because every time I play and I think I'm good at golf, then everything goes down.
Dude, I played a round at Glen Eagles, Eagles, and it was just me. It was, you remember you and me. You hit 50 and I hit 51, I think.
Yeah,
The day we went with Pat.
Was it that? No, there's you and me played one round.
Yeah, it was me and you with those two other guys, the two like random guys.
Yeah, Was it the old guy there or no? No, I think no. Was it? And he was. No. The old guy was me alone. Okay, there's me, this old guy. His wife, or it wasn't you. Yeah, it was you and me. And the old guy was shooting the best round, and then he started being super shitty. Yeah. Okay, so me and Luke show up, and we're playing. So he shoots a 50, I shoot a 51. We're playing good golf, or by our standards, good golf.
Yeah, decent.
And there's this old dude with us, and when I'm talking old, I want to say he's like 75, 80. Like he's old.
Yeah.
And so he's like all haggard, walking with this thing, and his wife's with him, and he's like playing so well. And like his old wife's with him, and she's like, "Oh, Donnie's never played so well in his life." And she's like, you can tell she's like flashing back to when she's 20, like, "Oh, my man's beating these young boys."
Yeah.
And he's like walking with that swagger too. And then in the last 3 holes, he blows up so hard, like into the bush, goes to drop into the bush, shoots it way out, and he has to drop again. And you go from seeing this old dude that's like, "I'll show these boys how to golf," to like
the arthritis kicked in.
Yeah. Gonna make it through 9. But it was so funny, and I was so sad. I was like, this poor old man, this would have made his life.
Yeah.
If he had just, and the whole time.
Do you know what he shot?
It was really high.
Yeah.
It was, at the time, he was killing us. And then after the last 3 holes, it was like, I want to say he was getting like 10, 12 strokes on the hole.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and you could just, I was like, man, this guy had the highest swagger. And then you just see him so deflated, like being things like, you know, like these clubs are old. The balls.
I've had these clubs since the 80s.
Is this grass? This must be turf. This can't be real grass.
I gotta say, golf, out of all this, so I personally, I feel like you may have had this too. I've played enough sports and I've won enough stuff that when I play golf, I just enjoy it. I want to do well, but I just enjoy it.
I want to be good at golf. No. I want to be good at golf, but man, I just need to learn how to hit a driver. It's such a frustrating sport to get good at. Yeah. Like, not even be good, just be competent.
See, that's the thing is, I really like golf. It's fun to play. I want to do well, but when my score goes bad, I just go out there and try and shoot shots and enjoy. But a lot of people get so turned if their golf score is bad.
No, it's not about the score for me. Like, for me, it's about... Because I can't hit a driver right now and have it go off of a tee and be playable. Like, it either rolls off in front of me, like, impotently, or does a curve right into the bush. So you can't really play like that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Buddy, you should come watch me golf. That's literally what it looks like.
I think it's because one of the first golf movies I ever saw was Happy Gilmore, and I was like, yeah, you just gotta go out there and just fuck it. Like, you know, like, it's almost like you gotta be like, oh yeah, they all said I can't make that shot. I'm just gonna try it, you know? Like see how it goes, and eventually you're like, oh, that worked, kind of. Yeah.
I feel like that's your philosophy, like in all sport that you play, though. It's such a tough mindset to have.
Just, to some degree. Well, you have to like be like,
You have to.
I gotta try that.
Because I've watched you center on like everything that we've ever tried. You ever see us play even spike ball? Like,
Oh, yeah.
oh man, you know who the funniest guy to watch play spike ball? Nick.
Yeah.
Nick gets all like warmed up. You're like, we'll pull his shorts up, like get into
Really?
like his stance.
See, I've never.
And then he's like in that like ready
Dude,
position.
Do you guys
he's
want
ready
to play?
like-
Oh, man.
Let's get Nick and play because I've never played spike ball and been serious.
Dude,
Oh,
we
I'm always
spent
like serious.
we
I'd
spent
love to
like
play.
3 hours one day. We made teams. It was like me and Luke, the Pats, and then Nick and Shauna's sister, right?
Oh, yeah,
Tori.
yeah.
And we basically played for like
Like
winter
3
stays,
hours.
3
Yeah.
hours, and like it was competitive. Like people
Yeah.
we were diving.
You
like,
know, like Jack Kelsch, Roger, Alex McMorty, Curtis, all them play a lot too.
They have
They're-
like a league by my house, I swear.
no way.
We should get it going.
I'll
This
be down,
summer,
man.
dude, I don't know if you guys saw my barbecue at the baby shower.
No.
The barbecue, I bought it for the baby shower. It's
Yeah.
so fucking nice for a portable. We are barbecuing all summer.
So I mean, I'll bring it up now, but we've basically been eating hot wings this entire time.
Yeah, you're on
I think
that.
Derek,
You said
Oh.
that.
Derek, are you feeling that one?
Yeah, dude.
So we've done 7 wings.
This is bearable hot, but
We've
it's
gone
really
incrementally
fucking
hotter.
hot.
Part of
Oh,
this is
dude,
because
just get ready to that.
Luke really likes wings and really likes hot, or Luke really
hot
likes
sauce.
hot things. So we've just been eating hot wings stuff this whole.
Your tattoo is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Have
Yeah,
you
yeah.
seen his tattoo?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can I see it again? What is it?
It's a Carolina Reaper pepper.
Why did you-
Mustache.
Because I'm technically from North Carolina, where it's from.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so it's a Carolina Reaper, but it's also a skeleton with a little goatee mustache. And and what is it got a gem in its head? That's fucking awesome.
Why did you Why did you get into this,
Spicy.
Luke? Like, how did you get into hot stuff?
Excuse me.
I don't know. I've always just loved hot sauce. I think it came from when I was younger, mostly because my, you know how like kids will get like their mouth washed out with soap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think my mom did that once or twice, like as we were kids, and then she was like, I think that's too mean. So then she was like, I'm gonna give them hot sauce.
That's not
Like-
mean.
I'm like, you know, like you have like bad mouth, so she'd like put soap in your mouth or something like that. But then I think she like was like, I feel bad because you know, I'm not gonna rat on my mom for other things, but like, they went to she switched to like hot sauce, and I secretly was like, I like this. And I would like, and then I think that's like also it started like slight rebellion because I knew like, you know, like my worst, the thing that happens if I say this word that I'm not allowed to is I'm gonna get some hot sauce, and I was kind of like, I kind of want some hot sauce today.
But you know what though? Like when we lived together in Kelowna, like you weren't like this into hot sauce, but the second time we lived together when we moved in North Van, you were putting like whatever you could, like as hot of a thing as possible on literally anything.
This is really good.
Well, I think it's also because I don't know. There's like from the research I know of, like like spicy things are actually really good for your arteries and heart. I guess.
They are, yeah.
So it's something that I've like learned to love too, but I feel like it also is just one of those things you need to like sometimes challenge your body with, just to like make it be like, oh crap, like.
Okay, so with that, because I agree. I'm a big fan of. I like the idea of everything you do has to have stress. There's too little stress
Yeah.
and too much stress is the same difference. You know, literally, it's awful.
You're dying a little.
I'm dying so much right now.
What did we just have? Explain what we just had.
We had the Stargazer. It actually kind of looks like your pepper. It's 9 out of 10 on the. It's an ultra hot sauce. Oh my god. I'm crying. It's
Don't rub your eyes.
I know. It's got, what is that called? The El Diablo, or the skeleton in Mexican. Dos Muertes skeleton on it. It's vegan.
It's vegan.
It's a jalapeno, habanero, and ghost pepper.
You know what's nice about it though is, I think it's more of a kick than a prolonged burn. It kind of feels.
Did you get some on your tongue?
I got on my lips. It slipped and went all over my mouth. No, I'm a big believer in stress, and you can apply that to like so many levels of everything. Like, over too much of anything will fuck things up. Too little of anything fucks it up, but in like the opposite order. If you were to do it in the way of working out, if you don't work out enough, you become like flaccid and out of shape. If you work out too much, you hurt yourself.
Right there.
Yeah, so it's like like anything, you have to have stress, but too much, too little's not good.
Derek's sweating and dying right now, just so you guys know.
I'm dying right now, so
There's tears.
There's 2 more?
Yeah, I think so.
2 more.
Okay.
Hotter than that.
That wasn't bad.
No, the first time we did this was way harder, I thought. Just because we weren't ready for the hotness.
So we did this challenge with, are these all Luke's hot sauces?
No, so these are all Luke's.
Okay.
These ones are these are all Luke's right here. These are all mine.
I have to say the first, up until even this one, the Heartbeat was, for me, hot, but like a fun hot. Now it's like really fucking
This one,
hot.
I think the blueberry scorpion is like the best flavoring.
I
Like,
personally thought
it's really
I
solid,
like
really
this a lot.
that's good. That one would be like really
The
good.
habanero hot sauce.
This one's not, I think I like blueberry, so it makes it a little less hot for me or something. It
Yeah.
didn't feel as hot as this one.
We have one in between this and this. I think it's a cherry something. It's like a black cherry.
So at when we used all years, it was when Dax proposed to Sarah and we were in Calgary, Alberta.
Yeah.
So shout out to Zach's for having us there. We did this challenge, and it was hot. It was really hot, like especially of course the last 2. But Zach made like a bowl this big of chicken wings, like huge.
Yeah.
And
No,
honestly, everyone else was dealing with the heat. I was almost throwing up because it was so hard to eat the last 10 chicken wings. I think I ate like 30 before that.
You're crying.
I know.
I just love you guys so much.
I love you guys so much. Anyhow, this is... Woo. I take back what I said about it not lingering.
You know what though? Speaking of sports, because obviously like Luke is into a bunch of sports. We're all into Liverpool here. He dabbles in all a bunch of stuff.
LFC.
The one thing that I love talking to Luke about is, do you know how much he hates the Canucks? I've already talked to you about this.
I know Luke doesn't like the Canucks.
Okay, so like, me and Derek and like all of our extended friends are pretty big Canucks fans, and some of our friends are like very diehard Canucks
Mega.
fans. So Luke, when I knew him, was a huge Washington Capitals fan,
Yeah.
and when we lived together the second time, they won the cup, and now he's kind of sort of dabbled in just hockey in general. But the one thing that's always stayed consistent since the day I've met him is how much he hates the Canucks.
So why do you hate the Canucks? I've heard it before, but I've not heard the true story.
I just the fan base. You guys are you know what you are. Like you're only supporting them when they win. And
Okay,
like,
well here's...
like even like I can even look at like the Oilers like series in like the last game, like in the stadium, they were down by like 3 goals I think, and no one's cheering.
Yeah.
Like at all. But I'm like, if the Capitals or someone else down, like people are gonna be like
lot
trying
of
to
teams.
pump up like a lot of teams, like people are still gonna be trying to like pump up their team, but like half the people are like, oh, we've lost this game, it's over, and then like they tie it up, and like that you could like see like the whole, like I understand, like yeah, you might end up losing the game, but you're still there to like.
Support the team.
If Liverpool's losing 2-0, I'm still gonna be like, let's go, like
That's
you know, like I'm gonna be like,
100%.
and like it's always felt like that here, and I was like, I mean, this year I was kind of like I made a bet. I was hoping that it would be a Vancouver Boston rematch, and Vancouver lost again, and
riot,
so we would
man.
riot again.
The
And, like,
riot, man.
just to be like, it's the third time we've made it to the finals and burned down our own city.
Dude,
like
that's-
just because that just speaks
On the
like,
world stage, what truly our biggest thing is, if our hockey team loses in the finals, we will riot.
You know
It's
we're-
not a cool thing.
You
but
know we're
it's just-
100% with that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
we're
what I mean.
2 for 2.
Yeah.
And no, I don't really know any other places that truly like. Was LA had the Lakers?
The
riot?
second one, at 2001.
But I feel like if you look into a lot of the other sports riots, there's a lot of civil unrest that is kind of around them. Whereas here, like, no one was like, "Oh, I'm down on my luck and times are hard. Let's riot." Everyone was like, "I'm richer than I've ever been and things are great."
Yeah.
Well, I'll put it in perspective. So, like, again, I'm a Canucks fan, but I can kind of see where Luke's coming from our fan perspective. Again,
I agree.
The media, and I won't name names, but when Lindholm was awful in the season, all I heard was how awful that trade was and how, like, what a waste. We should have gone for Gensel. And as soon as he was good in the playoffs, everyone's like, "Oh, he's exactly what we needed." Beatty has a rough few months. People were saying we should just scratch him. And I'm
Yeah,
like, he's
yeah.
our best player.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that he was injured since January, and he'd been playing through an injury this entire time and didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I've been in our chat, and I'm like, hey man, like, we should cheer for him. Like,
Yeah,
unironically, like, we
I
should.
tried my hardest. It was hard to peer. That's one thing I didn't understand. I know. You know what? I don't want to get into the details of the super analytical of the Canucks, but
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. You are right. The one thing I will say is, because I don't disagree with you, Luke, I don't disagree with what you're saying. But the thing is, I know a lot of actual Canucks fans. So there is people that actually are good supporting, but I do agree with you. Like, as a whole, like, even you can go into the game 7 or game 6 or whatever it was. Was it game 7?
Game
It was
6.
game 7. No,
Game 6.
Game 6 against Edmonton. But go back to the first series against Nashville, and it was game 1 we won. Game 2 at the third period, the whole lower or half the lower bowl emptied when we were losing 3-1, and I'm like you. Like, the big thing I loved about Liverpool was you cheer for Liverpool. Like, even when we were shit, everyone was all there, all in, all Liverpool. Even when we had Stuart Downing, who was terrible. If you were watching Liverpool and Stuart Downing was there, it was so disappointing to have to hear pundits talk about the potential of him scoring, because it would never, ever fucking happen. Like, it was so bad. But the whole time, the fans were like, "Come on, Stuart, you could score." And I could see it, though. They were so upset. They're like, "We know he's not going to score, but we have to say to him he could score." And then you come here and the fans. But that's the thing is, I think there's a lot of people that just get on a bandwagon so easily here, and then they have the money to be like, "Oh, it's only $500 to get upper bowl for a Canucks playoff game," and then they buy it, and like no true fan can actually afford to go to a game. So you get that,
most
but-
likely not.
But I think it's unfair to say that's the only people. It is true. I don't disagree with at all.
And I
about
mean,
the
that's
fan
not like
base.
the only reason. I feel like I've always not been like a sports fan of Vancouver. Like, we've never really had any like major crazy like even like the BC Lions. I don't really. I'm like,
no one's a fan of
yeah, like.
BC Lions. Everyone's on the team to try and get.
But even
off
like
the BC
Vancouver
Lions.
Whitecaps, I'm kind of like, they're not gonna like push for anything crazy. Like, we've sold away like our good players anyways. But like, and I don't think I would ever like cheer for them because I'm like, oh, like, I'm a Liverpool fan. Like,
That's how I feel too.
Would you be a fan if the Grizzlies came back,
but I also
or some former basketball team?
like possibly like I mean I also like I cheer for some teams like based on players. Like, I'm a player fan.
Fair,
to
fair,
a degree.
fair.
Like.
I dig that.
Like I love France, like not because like I've always kind of liked France just as a World Cup football team, but like because I used to be a huge Pogba fan. I still love the stuff that he does sometimes. Like, I know he's banned from like certain things right now, but
the dude got voodooed. You don't have to believe in voodoo, but there's a huge chunk of the world that does, and he got voodooed.
Do you have his jersey still up on your wall?
I do. Not up in my wall. It's in my closet, I think, with one of my other France jerseys. Mbappe, who's like my my idol right now.
So Derek's about to
Yeah.
take a shot
I
or take a
love
wing of whoop ass.
Whoop ass, which is basically just straight Carolina Reaper.
Yeah.
So I feel like the point of this like eating hot wings thing was supposed to be we're talking to Luke and it's supposed to get hard for him, but you're just fully unfazed.
Are you
And I'm dying.
are you unfazed completely?
Like how are you?
I've sweated a little bit, but
You looked when I was dying and tearing up. You had a little drop, like 1 or 2. What about
this
you?
one I know will like make me sweat a little.
Pretty good with hot. Well, I get really hot, but my physiological response for some reason isn't the same as everybody's.
Do you think that's enough, or should I put more? No, I'm gonna put more on the list.
But I actually think not my hate for the Canucks, but like I had a friend growing up when I was younger that was like a huge Canucks. Like I swear this kid had like a boner for the Canucks. Like he would have jerked off to them like if he could. And I was a huge. I think what initially like even got me watching hockey in the first place was like like the 90. I want to say it was like the 98 Colorado Avalanche when I was like 8-year-old with like Patrick Waugh, Joe
It was
Sakic.
them versus Detroit.
Yeah, like that era, and like I was like a Habs fan. Like when I first started watching hockey, I was never a Canucks fan back in that era. And like he always loved them, and I was like, no man, like Patrick Waugh, he's like
I love
I was
Patrick
I was a goalie fan like at first for hockey. That's what made me.
Who's your
like it.
favorite goalie all time?
I would say Patrick Waugh.
Mine is Bill Goldberg from the Muddy Ducks.
Patrick Waugh.
Do you know who mine is? Do you?
Who?
I know you one.
I already know. It's Dan Kluche.
Dan Kluche.
I will say, I did like Dan Kluche because he was a goalie that would fight, and so that was the only time I like kind of supported the Canucks because I was like, I want this fucking guy to fight. But then everyone in Vancouver was like, oh, he's known as a fighting goalie, and like they didn't want him to fight when he came to Vancouver, and I was like, let him fight. Like I was always like, let him fight. Like,
Who's my favorite hockey player of all time?
Oh, no idea. Kucherov.
It's true.
Yeah, dude.
Gaudreau?
My beer, no. You get a Kucherov. My
Oh.
beer loving Russia.
I would have said it right away, but my mouth's so fire.
Oh, brothers. I'm the Ovechkin
No,
guy.
Dan
The
Kluche. Dan Kluche, if you ever hear this podcast, I'd love to have. We would love to have you on the podcast. It'd be amazing.
Shout out Dan Kluche.
Dan Kluche. But the thing that's crazy is everyone liked him because he was the fighter, but I just thought he was the sweetest, like, actual goaltender.
Well, was he good looking?
But he had
I mean, like, he was like
he had a very
Quebec
leaky
Law.
5-hole though.
He did. He was just like, I don't know, he's a badass dude, and like, I got to meet him.
Like on a scale of how much you liked him in terms of like ranking, it goes play. He plays for the Canucks. Based on looks and name, what order would you rank that? Is looks number 1?
I liked the way he actually played, like watching him.
Okay.
I feel like Canuck has to be 2. It's always going to be number 1 or 2 when it's a Canuck pick. And then looks, for sure. It's all looks. If you're a goalie with that mask on, you obviously got to look good.
Well, that mask doesn't cover up as much of the face.
I always thought hockey should be played no gear. Just jock straps.
They did that.
Jock straps, gloves, helmet, and skates.
I also think there should be like an Olympics where they don't have regulations on steroids. Like if you want to fuck up your body, do it. Like, but like let's actually see how far someone could
Yes.
throw a javelin. Or like
Well, this is funny you say that. This is a Joe Rogan thought because Joe Rogan's brought it up multiple times. He's basically said that he believes that every sport should have like the regular sport, and then they should have that same league that sport, but everyone's allowed to do steroids.
I'd love that. The other one, have you heard the one that's like, the Olympics, you have the Olympics, but everyone, every year, like we could be drafted into any Olympic event.
like it's like a draft. Like,
Yeah,
you
so,
just
like,
get
you
a
just
letter
don't-
in the mail, and it's like Dax. You're doing
I don't know, like
you're
Olympic
doing curling.
lifting. Yeah, you're doing curling or something, anything. And then what it is anytime they're competing, there's just one random average person doing it. They're like,
And it's his first time.
they're like,
Like,
Derek Shirk about to attempt a triple Lutz. And I'm like, what? How do they like go out there? They just push me and I just fall over.
Dude, you know what we should do at some point in the summer? I don't know why I thought of this, but you know Dave Portnoy? Like Barstool Sports?
Yeah, yeah.
So when they first started like 10, 12 years ago, they did a thing called the Barstool Combine, where they took all the NFL Combine testing and they did it for their whole office. I just think it would be hilarious if we found all of the Olympic sports and we did our own Olympics. Like
We know we should
like
for sure.
Mahan.
Like, we should for
we
sure.
did like 100-meter dash.
No, dude, 100%. Because I have this all set up to get video. I have the Rain City Variety is also a YouTube channel. So as soon as we get video, we can do it. That should be 100%
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Do you think we
be
could
so
find? Do
fun.
you think we could find a javelin for cheap, or do you think there'd be
I
someone
know
that would let
one
us
of my
throw a javelin?
one of my clients throws javelin. That's so absolutely.
Dude, we should do this. We should try to find as
Just
many of our
rent it
friends,
for 'em. Yeah.
and we should actually do like it's not called the like as soon as the Olympics start, we do one. We have like an opening ceremony and everything, but it's like the average man Olympics. It's just a one day like Olympic trials.
I'm down.
Imagine you did something.
I feel like it's not fair. I think you're gonna win a lot of the sports.
No. There's always a chance.
Triple jump. Oh.
I was
We
pretty
should
good-
do-
I
we
was
should
pretty
do-
My
good at
best
track and field.
track and field for me, we can't do it because I don't know where we'd get it. But high jump was actually my best track event or field.
Are you good at flopping?
Yeah, dude. I always competed in the top 3 when I was doing high jump.
What's the flop called?
the flop?
Yeah. What's the name for it? The technical name.
The peregrine tuck.
That sounds like a Harry Potter character.
No comment.
No,
Don't think too much about it or you'll figure out what it's
Don't
from.
Google it or anything.
Don't look at Lord of the Rings characters.
No, Peregrine Tuck.
Peregrine tuck.
Oh,
Yeah.
sidebar. Guess who watched Lord of the Rings for the first time?
And
All three.
Extended edition.
All 3 in a row? Back to back to back?
Do you want to invite
Back to back and then like a weekend and then back again.
By the way, welcome fiance of the show, Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
What's up?
Yo.
What's up?
Yeah, so she watched all 3 last weekend.
Sarah, scream louder so it can like pick you up.
What's up?
Nice.
Apart from hot sauces and sports, we also have a pretty proficient esports team going on. If everybody knows,
Yes.
we have the Ball Kickers FC. We're taking some signees for next season or even the summer, and we also have a pretty competent bet squad minus Tep.
Tep. Yeah, let's just give a shout out. Tep, we love you.
He's coming. Did
I
tell you?
know.
Officially,
Wait,
he's coming.
officially now? He told me it was like
Yeah, it's
unofficial, but he was pretty certain.
no. He just sent me the plane ticket. He's
go.
right there.
Tap, move here.
July 27th.
Tap, move
Yeah,
here.
it's a one-way ticket.
One-way ticket.
One-way ticket?
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll have an actual esports team and
What?
physical person. But
You need a roommate.
I do.
yeah, Luke is part of our
him he
esports
can-
team.
Tell him he can room. Pat moves out on the 15th.
Oh
of
yeah.
June.
I'll tell him.
Of June?
Yeah. He
Doesn't
wants
lie.
some cheap rent, but it's illegal basement suite. You can't really. He's short.
No,
right?
no, it's not actually illegal. It seems illegal, but it's not illegal.
It's not illegal. You just
How
can't.
much
you
of
just,
Vancouver is actually legal at this point?
None of that. Have you
None
seen
of
that? Have you seen that
I
new
feel
pilot
that's another
program that they're running in
It is.
California, where it's like if you drive a mile, they're gonna charge you 30 cents.
What?
Like it's some new tax in California, where if you drive like a mile away from your place, every mile away from your place, they're gonna start charging you.
Trudeau's sitting there being
Yeah.
like,
Excellent.
"There's a carbon." No, let's keep this. Let's keep this
Yeah,
apolitical.
yeah.
Let's keep
Yeah,
this
yeah.
apolitical.
We don't-
That's
we
not.
don't-
That's
I
not
don't
good.
want no. The only politics I'm willing to talk is the politics of like is bullshit. How much we get taxed because I don't think anyone cares. Like it's just bullshit. We
Yeah,
get taxed. I'll talk about how much garbage that is. That makes no sense. That driving farther from your home makes you taxed more. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I just can't afford it. That's what I'm mad at. If I was rich, I'd be like, we should charge more for people driving from their home.
Yeah, get more people off the
Yeah, we
roads.
need to save the world.
Yeah.
But I'm poor, so I'm like, yo, no.
Yeah.
Please, I need freedom. You can't charge me to go that far away. But realistically, a mile, you said?
Yeah.
1.6K. So how far is 1.6K from my house? Could I get to the key from Upper Delaware?
No, that's like
No.
at least 2 kilometers, dude.
What you got charged your grocery stores like 1.7K? Like
I
every
walk
time
a
I get
lot
food?
though.
Oh damn!
Yeah, this guy walked home after that Liverpool game. We came here and he walked home after.
It's nice walking. Neve's mom walks a lot too.
Yeah.
There's a guy on YouTube I follow.
I
He's-
try and get 15.
Well, I'm not surprised, but there's a
Is it?
guy. There's a
That's
guy on
super
YouTube
good.
I follow. He's like super shredded, and he like talked about his workout plan because everyone asked him like, because his channel is actually eating, but he's just a naturally fit guy. And like, oh, like people have been asking like how I stay in shape. He's like, I wake up at 4:30 and I walk until I've done 1,500 steps, and then I go to the gym for an hour. I do 30 minutes of cardio, and then I walk again. And he's like, and that's pretty much all I do. And they're like, what? He's like, my walking is my cardio, and for some reason it's helped me keep my weight off. And I feel like there's like something to be said with just walking. But I was even telling you earlier, like I'm on a run now. Like that's just steps in a day.
Oh yeah, well I walk my dog every single day, and since I've moved in with Neve, like I used to walk the dog all the time, but it wasn't literally every day. But now it's at least an hour a day walking. Even if I don't do anything, I'm minimum walking an hour with the dog.
Yeah.
I've always had an attitude about working out and fitness though. It's like there's the like, let's say you want to get bigger biceps or whatever, you go to the gym, and that's like specifically like building like your body, say.
Yeah.
Or if you want to like get better at tennis, you go like do that workout or whatever. But the idea to actually like be fit is like the constant of always moving, doing stuff. So it's not surprising to hear if it's like, oh well, other people are sitting around and you're up walking. Well, yeah, of course you're gonna like, because so many people sit all the time. The thing is, no one in this room understands that because we just don't do that.
I
Like,
sit all the time. I have to sit,
I mean, I lie
know,
down.
no. I know, dude. I know you do it for your job, but I'm saying like, no, you don't. Just trust me, you don't. You don't have the body of a
Yeah,
person
you,
that sit.
you
Oh,
haven't,
okay,
you haven't,
okay.
you haven't, you haven't
You
worked,
Okay, okay.
You
work,
like
work on a film set, and
Yeah,
like,
like,
they
you'll see-
literally will spend money so people don't have to like walk somewhere. And I'm like, they're like, oh, there's a shuttle coming, like you can do this, and I'm like, it's a 3-minute walk, like I'll walk there. Like I was working at North Shore Studios, and you know that like little gravel field at Park and Tilford.
Yeah.
So sometimes they'll have a crew park there, and like people are too lazy to walk from there around like the corner of the gate into the studio. They're like, no, I'm gonna wait for the shuttle. Like you should wait for the shuttle, and I'm like, I'm gonna walk like literally like the 150 step. Like people are like, you get into film, and like some people are just a bunch of
Well,
like.
like,
I never
giant,
thought
like,
about that. Like when you were saying that, like we don't actually. I sit for work, but like
Yeah.
I don't actually sit.
Like
Yeah.
the amount of people I see, and you can imagine what they look like. All they don't eat well. They sit all day at work, and then they're complaining of like I sit all day and like it's so painful. And then you delve deeper into like, so what do you do? Well, once I'm done work, I go home and I watch Netflix, or I go on my phone. So like outside of sitting at work, which is a like that's its own thing.
That's
Like
a-
I call that
yeah.
occupational hazard. Unfortunately, if you sit, you'll get this posture and it'll hurt. But then if you just
you can
go
buy a
home and-
stand-up desk, dude.
or yeah, and even then, but even let's say you just sit the whole time, that's fine. It's your job. Like you unfortunately have to like take hits and things. But these people just sit 100% of the time, and you're like,
Yeah, because you're at work
What?
sitting, then you drive in like traffic, say to and from work. That
Yeah.
could be an hour, 2 hours of just sitting in the car.
"What's your hobby?" Oh,
Yeah.
I love Netflix.
Yeah,
You're like,
or you get home, and you just sit down at the dinner table. There's food, you eat. And
You know what
chat or
though? I
whatever.
think part of
Yeah.
that though is like it's a little bit skewed because obviously we're active people.
Mhm.
I think I have like a barometer of like how active I want to be
Mm-hmm.
because I even think of like my daily routine right now in terms of working out. Like I sometimes sit there and I'm like, oh, that's not enough. But then I think if you compare that to the average person, it's like you do that like on a daily basis, you know?
Yeah,
And I don't
yeah.
even think in comparison to what some people call like hyper fitness or hyper athletic,
Yeah.
what I'm doing is minuscule. you
Yeah,
know?
well, it's all just levels. As soon as you get fit, you meet someone fitter, and then there's always just levels to it. Like it always. Yeah, the one thing I always laugh at my work to go in. There's the elevator, but it fucking takes like, honestly, I think it takes like 4 to 5 minutes sometimes. If there's people on it, it's stopping everywhere. It's so painfully slow. So I usually walk up the stairs, but on the off chance it's on low, like the L when I get there when I'm walking in, I'll just always take it.
Yeah.
And people every time that I work with are like, oh, look at you, Mr. Lazy, not walking up the stairs, taking the elevator, not getting your exercise today. And I always laugh at them and I go, yeah, well, like, honestly, like, I don't even consider this exercise, and I think if you do, it might be a problem. And it's true. Like, if you walk up 4 flights of stairs, you're like, oh, thank God I got my exercise today. I'm like, I think you're going to die. Or,
Yeah.
So
4
genuinely.
flights of stairs.
Yeah.
That's
It's not exercise.
I had a woman come in. She was 61 years old. She was so fit. It was crazy. Just finished doing her second or third half Ironman, so like 72K of
Oh my goodness.
everything, and she's now going for a full. And I asked her, I was like, how old are you? And she was like, you're not supposed to ask people that. And I was like, no, like, genuinely, to see someone like you that fit is so awesome, because barring some fucked up circumstance, like if you like, let's say your back never healed because of like what happened to it, you would have a fair shout to, you're like, yo, I can't be like, but like, say that happened where it was that severe and you're in that much pain, and you remember how bad his back was.
Did you hang out with me? Because it was during COVID. I don't know if we hung out that much when my back was really bad.
Dude,
but it's still always like a thing. Like,
No. There was a time where like
he just lay on his back and couldn't move.
I like getting up from my chair was painful. Like Sarah would watch me. I would get up and I would sit here like this, and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I go, "I have to not get up because electricity is going down my leg, and I have to go like this."
Yeah.
And then and before I would get moving, and I still went in the gym every single day.
But let's just say, so like, for example, if you're where Dax is, it might be hard for you later in life to, if that's your pain level, to be fit. But the average person, I genuinely believe around 30 to 35, so like our age range, just gives up, and they're like, get lazy, and then they're like, oh no, I'm getting old, and this is what like how life is. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I literally just massaged a 61-year-old woman that just did a half triathlon or Ironman and is going for a full. And I asked her that, I was like, so like, excuse me, how do you do all this stuff? And she's like, secret is just keep moving. It doesn't matter what you do. You don't have to be in the gym every day. That obviously certain things help, but the true thing is you just keep doing stuff.
Yeah, you just keep moving.
I honestly find like as soon as you stop moving completely, like it's over. It's so easy, because last year I wasn't in like the best mindset to like really exercise, and I put on some weight, and for me it was so easy because I just done it every day, where I would come home, I would turn on the TV, I'd be like, I'll work out in a bit, and then just be like, you know what, it's already like 8 o'clock, I'm not going to work out anymore. Whereas now, where I'm like, if I'm tired, I'm like, I have to move. Like, I just have to do something. Like, I need to go, if it's not the gym, I need to go, like, walk around the track, or I need to go and do this.
I think you're going to die from that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, if anybody's listening, Derek just poured a really big chunk of the
that's
bomb.
more when I did it.
I think you're going to die a little bit from that.
Oh, Luke didn't put, oh my god. Okay.
I'll do it.
I think that's like, it's a thick boy.
I have a fun round here I've been saving, so if we do this, I got some fast questions to go for both of you.
Oh no.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Alright.
Last question.
Cheers.
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 This has been a great pod. It's on my finger now. Fuck. Here we go.
Oh god. This one doesn't even taste good. It just goes straight to cooking your ass.
Oh my god. Oh, it tastes so gross. How does it taste gross?
It tastes like chemicals.
Yeah. Yeah.
It tastes like chemicals. It actually tastes like chemicals. Luke, so you just did Mexico this year, right? Like, do you have any more trips coming up at all?
1 second. I don't know. I saw there's that new. Oh fuck. Oh god.
Do you need water?
No, I got that. Oh god. Kicked her ass. Sorry, I got the hiccups.
That's really hot.
Oh my god. Okay, so someone's got to talk.
Everyone's dying right now. I'm gonna take over.
Okay,
This is my
go for
podcast now.
It's Luke's one. Holy fuck.
Sarah's just on the couch looking at us like, what the fuck?
My eyes are watering. My belly is burning. Oh. Okay, my nose is dripping. I gotta go spit a little.
Give me a fucking tissue.
Someone's got to ask,
Okay, what are the questions?
where's Luke going? Any trips planned this year?
I think he's going to Asia.
Where?
I just guessed.
I saw there's a new airline going to Japan.
No way.
It's cheaper flights.
What?
Possibly September. We'll see. I need to renew my passport still.
Me too.
I went to Trader Joe's today. I wasn't that impressed.
That's kind of like a foreign country.
I wasn't impressed with Trader Joe's at all.
What did you get at Trader Joe's?
I got some tea cookies that were key lime flavor, and I didn't realize Trader Joe's was like Whole Foods, but America Whole Foods. I thought it was gonna be like I thought it was gonna be like fucking
Almond milk.
Oh, it's almond milk. I thought Trader Joe's was gonna be like America, USA, like yeehaw, America. So I expected, I think, a giant Walmart, but like over the top Walmart where there's like for example, I was anyone that knows Trader Joe's, I've never been. This was my first time. I thought it was gonna be like clusters of peanut butter cups mixed with bacon, mixed with a fried chicken like crazy, and it was very healthy. And oh my god, this is
It's really hot. I think
We overdabbed.
the bomb has taken over this interview.
We overdabbed.
Um,
that was
I
great.
think I might have rubbed my eyes.
Luke, what's your favorite movie of all time? If you're only able to watch one movie on repeat, what would it be?
Empire Strikes Back.
Wow.
Empire Strikes Back. Okay.
Or Shawshank Redemption.
I love Shawshank.
Two good movies. Music genre you could only ever have on your iPod for the rest of your life.
What about music genre I could only never have on my iPad?
Yeah.
Country.
Okay.
Oh,
Um,
fuck yeah. Fuck you, country.
if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life,
Pizza.
pizza. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about this. You know, Luke is vegetarian, right? What made you go vegetarian?
Why
there's
is
a
this
few
hot
things.
sauce?
We used to go out for chicken wings. All the time. Like every Wednesday. It was Wing Wednesday. In the back of my head, I always thought, oh shit, I got 30, 40 wings, Dax got 40 wings, John got 40 wings, Nick got 40 wings, like whoever else was there got like 30, 40 wings, and I'm like, I would sit there and be like, alright, so every 4 chicken wings, that's like one baby chicken we've slaughtered. And I was like, how many baby chickens did we slaughter? This is how it all started. But then what actually made me go vegetarian is my friend at the warehouse job I had for a bit. Because I would always talk about how many, like, wings, like, me and my friends went to go eat, and, like, how many we slaughtered. And she's like, I bet you couldn't not eat any meat for, like, 3 months. And I was like, how much you want to bet? So that's why I also think it's funny that kids are, like, bet these days. Because I'm like, how much? I literally would be like, how much are we betting? Like, give me an actual bet. But she was like, $100, 3 months that you can't eat meat. And I was like, fucking
Easy.
done. Easiest, or it was $200, 3 months, no meat. I was like, done. That's easy. And I guess all through like university, like even working out, but whatever, like, you know, we were always like eating chicken wings all the time. I would notice like my weight would like be able to fluctuate like 5 to 10 pounds a day easily. And then when I went vegetarian, I also like, I've like guinea pigged myself like quite a bit through
sweet.
like random things we'd like learn in HK, and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna try that for like 2 months. Like there was a time I did like the sleep one. Did I ever tell you about that? Like first year we taught like there was a time when I was like, I heard that sleeping every 4 hours and like then you wake up and do like 2 hours of like work or no,
I've heard stuff like
it was
this.
like
Different like sleep cycles.
Yeah, it's like weird sleep cycles where like you just wake up but then you sleep at like random times during the day just to be more productive through your 24 hours. Like I would try stuff like that, and then so yeah, I went like completely vegetarian for this 3 months just for $200. And like I noticed that the first month I noticed like my weight dropped like 5 pounds, and I was like, oh, that's like normal. But then it kind of just like plateaued and like stayed there, and I was like, oh, what would happen if I like don't work out as well? So then there was 1 month where I didn't do anything except for literally just walk, like didn't work out anything, and my weight just like I think it dropped like another 2 pounds, but then it just stayed, and I was like, oh, like this kind of works for me, like.
So was your diet like exact, like you were eating vegan or vegetarian?
Vegetarian.
Were you-
I
but
don't think
would
I
you
would. I
eat
don't think.
whatever?
I don't think I would ever go.
What do you eat that's non-vegetarian? Because you said you're sorry, that's non-vegan. What do you eat?
Like it's like cheese.
Okay.
Byproduct of like
Yeah,
cows,
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. Like honey. Like vegans don't eat honey.
Yeah.
Like honey.
Do you eat eggs?
That's madness.
I'll eat eggs. I'm not like a huge. I've like slowly like started growing out of eggs.
You like
I
fish,
don't
though,
like
right?
eggs.
Yeah, and so yeah, I do, like I wouldn't say I'm vegan. I'll do pescatarian.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, here it was kind of like growing in Vancouver. It's hard to give up on sushi.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Although the first year that you did vegetarian, though, we lived together. So
Yeah,
actually,
I wasn't eating much fish.
you did a couple things that year, if you remember. So he went vegetarian, and you also did the I'm not going out at all for a year.
Oh,
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I
quit-
went out-
I quit drinking. Yeah.
Because
for
I
a
went
year,
out
too.
a
I
lot.
wish I could.
I went out a lot, and you and I were going out often that year.
Yeah, no, and that was like the first year I remember that because that was the first year they came out with like nudes or like neutrals or something like that, and it was like the new rave, and
Yeah.
everyone was talking about like you have to try it, like you haven't tried one, and I was like, I remember my first, I think it was like we're at the river, and it was like one of my first day backs like drinking.
No, I remember your first day back. Okay, sorry, I cut you off here.
Yeah.
The first day back drinking was one of the nights at your place. Do you remember we had Monica over with all of her roommates?
Oh, yeah.
Luke came by. It was Luke's like return because it was Charlotte's going away thing.
Oh yeah.
That was
yeah,
and it was
yeah,
it was
yeah.
exactly 1 year
I'm
since he died.
dying. I'm sorry. I just can't contribute right now. I'm just so.
It's okay. So everybody, Derek is not having a good time.
I told him.
the last-
I put
he
a
was gonna
lot
die.
on there,
I told
didn't
you
I?
you're gonna die. I was like, he's gonna die.
I'm coming back. Like I'm on the ups, but that was fucked for a bit there. No, good. High five. It was actually brutal.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but I remember you guys were talking about neutrals for like a year, like almost like I want to say like 8 months and like half like that summer, and then I was like, fine. Like someone was like, oh, I'll try. Like here, try this neutral. I was like, fine. I'll like finally try it. It's my first day back, and just being so disappointed. I was like, this is really what you guys have been like raving over. I was like,
Called
this
alcoholism.
is horrible.
you know what? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The thing I can't get over, you know, when you think of things, oh, we should have done this sooner. Like, for example, podcasts, YouTube. There's so many. I should have invested in Apple, like all those ones. Those like things like hindsight's 2020. The dumbest hindsight of 2020 is who was the idiot that it took that long. So basically, like 2018, for someone to bottle vodka soda. Like that was the lowest hanging fruit on the make money easy tree. Everyone's drinking beer, and you would just have to be like,
Yeah.
"What if we put vodka in
But
a
you know,
can?"
yeah,
and you killed it.
even
But it
thinking
took
on
that long.
Even thinking on that, I'm like in like even Mexico with like tequila. Now they finally have like little like tequila like mixed soda like
Yeah,
beer
flavored
drinks, like
drinks,
flavored
yeah.
drinks, and like that didn't exist. Like
When we were
A bunch of
19,
times,
like,
yeah.
dude, I can't wait. Someone else will do it way better than us. But you're going to find something of, like, when you were 19, so I guess what? When we were 2010. So when we were 2010, like 2009, 2010, when we could start drinking, there was basically like Old Mill, Coors Light, Kokanee, Bud. The imports were Heineken, Carlsberg, Stella, and the funniest thing
But I
is
feel like those were just the ones we knew about.
Don't forget cold shots.
Yeah, cold shots.
cold shots, but no, but still, but the whole trend of it was all so generically the exact same thing. And now you go to the liquor store and it has everything. It has like sours, ciders, whiskey, everything.
And
It's
they even
crazy.
want you to tip.
You got to think what the market is though for, because it feels like it's so saturated now in terms of like what you want to put. Everything that you do now, like if YouTube, for example, if we had broke into YouTube way younger, like the things that they do on YouTube that make money now are things we could easily done. The crazy part is, do you remember we used to hang out with John, and when we lived together, we set up that second couch, that we called it the chilling couch. We had the big TV, and then we set up my TV just by the refrigerator, and we put a second couch, and it was like our chilling couch, right? And we would always sit and we would hang out and we would talk. And I remember we'd always sit there and be like, could you imagine if we like recorded us talking someday? I feel like we're entertaining enough to do that. And that's basically what people have done with podcasts.
Well, even case, so this podcast, like the whole heart behind it is just enjoyment and fun. Like I feel like, so the theme is like we said before we started, was like we're interviewing you, but really it's just us hanging out, like right, like we've just been having a good talk, like
eating wings,
and then eating wings, and like let's say for example, like you're obviously we're all friends / you have like you're someone that has stories that's fun to talk to. Let's say you didn't, like we're all laughing and you kind of run out of stuff to talk about. That's when it becomes more of like an interview, right? But like what we've got is organic and good. And what I've noticed with the whole space of any of the like YouTube, Spotify, all of them, is you're not competing for ears in terms of like, if people like what you and all of us say, they'll listen to it. It doesn't have to do with well, they listen to Joe Rogan, so we have to be better than Joe Rogan. It's not about that, or just name any podcast. It's kind of like someone can like Joe Rogan, they can like our podcast, they can like something about some chick that talks about I don't know, like harmony within peace in her body and stuff. Like it's not like you have, oh well, Luke can only like this. It's like you can capture such a big audience, and genuinely we're so close. I don't know if you know this, to already being able to monetize ourselves.
What?
Yeah. That's what's so crazy. We need. I'll look at the stats again before I leave, but we need to get to But the thing is, monetized. The thing with monetized is like it basically means if we have 100 concurrent listeners over the course of 60 days, then we can become monetized. But that just opens up literally the option of it. I think you have to get to 1,000 people listening to you normally to make like any money, and when I mean any money, like $50 even.
For like Dan Cloutier to come on.
Yeah.
But you know what? Our I'm actually serious. Our first video pod should be the Average Man Olympics.
That would be
Like, I think what we should do is we should like get the pool of people who would participate in the Average Man Olympics. We set a date at some point in the summer. We put whatever type of games, and we'll pull 10, and that's what we compete in.
Okay, so here's how we're gonna do it then. We heard it here on the pod. So Dax, your name has to be in the drawing, like to subscribe for that by the final day, like when the Olympic torch goes out. Your name has to be in, and then we'll pull all the events from there and go.
Okay. You have to be subscribed to the channel.
Absolutely. Yeah, you also have to sub to the. Yeah, thank you, Luke, our first guest of the show. Like and subscribe. Hit the comments, please. Hit the comments hard. Genuinely, boys. Because as of right now, it's just people we know, boys and girls. If you the more interaction you have on the Spotify, liking polls, commenting, the better. It helps us so much. So please like and subscribe. I feel like this is a pretty good place to end it. This has been good. Do you have anything to say?
No, thanks for stopping by, Luke, after your 13-hour day. I know you had like a 13-hour day yesterday too.
Oh, it was 16.
Oh, there you go.
No, sorry, that was Wednesday.
Yeah.
That was 16.
So thanks for stopping by and
thank you.
kicking it with us.
Yeah, that
Go Borussia Dortmund tomorrow.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
gonna be a fucking good one.
Either way, they're getting paid.
Yeah. Either way, they get paid. So yeah, I guess thank you everyone for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed it. Luke, again, thank you for coming on the show. I'm sure we'll have you back many times.
Thank you for having me.
Dax, my co-host, for hosting us in your house tonight, and always it's just fun to do this. I'm glad we got to. That is the 3-person circle signing off for the night. Take care, everyone.